Hey, what's up everybody? In this video we're going to go over my Wizard Torment 6 build, and this is mainly using Electrocute. So that's my main AoE skill. I do have a few pieces of gear that go along with that, so let's just go over the skills real fast. Electrocute with Chain Lightning, just so I get a whole bunch of hits from that. Hydra with Frost Hydra. Now I do have RASHA set, so I am going for 4 different kinds of damage. This one actually works really well, both as a CC and damage. So, of course, I'm using that, and it uses very little arcane power. Really, this whole build doesn't use any arcane power at all. I regenerate it quicker than I could really use it, so I don't need any arcane help. I'm using energy armor because it is Torment 6. So, with this, it gives me quite a boost with defense. I'm using Familiar Spark Flint for both fire damage and 10% increased damage, because of course you need a lot of damage for Torment 6. So I went with that. That gives me the meteor from fire, and then magic weapon with electrify. I got this so that way when I use electrocute, it will chain, or it'll have small lightning arcs to other enemies. So I'm hitting so often that this is constantly proccing, and so it's dealing more and more damage with larger and larger groups. And then finally, for my main arcane damage, I'm using Black Hole Spell Steal. I do like this because A, it does a whole bunch of damage, and B, it reduces the damage of the enemies it hits, and it also, say if I hit a huge group, it'll increase my damage. So when I suck everybody up, they'll all have reduced damage, and then I'll have, upwards of 30-40% increased damage while I'm electrocuting that real tight-knit group, and then this lays waste to them. And for my passive skills, I'm using Paralysis. It's a great CC for lightning, especially with electrocute. It will chain to everybody, and then it'll constantly be slowing them down by, of course, stunning them. Unwavering Will, this is a good one because I'm channeling electrocute so much, especially on tier 6, that my armor, damage, and all resistances all go up, so my defenses go even higher when I stand still. So that's a really good one for this build, or a lot of builds for tier 6. Elemental Exposure, this ties in with RASHA's set, which already gives me a 5% bonus to all damage types. This will give me another 20% after an enemy gets hit by everything, which doesn't take too much time. So that's an overall 25% increase in all my damage. And I actually do not have a single piece of gear with any elemental increasing damage. I'm trying to completely get away from that. It overcomplicates things and it's just really, if you're focused on one character, it works fine. But since I have so many different characters and all the legendaries I have to hold on to for, it's a mess. So I just try to focus on, like crit and crit damage, everything like that. For now, it's, I'll go back. And finally, Blur, great damage decrease, 17% across the board damage decrease for defense. And then let's go to my gear. Right off the bat, I have the Velvet Camarel, and this doubles the number of enemies my electrocute jumps to. Now, with the rune that I'm using, Chain Lightning, that hits up to 9 instead of 3. So that's pretty damn good. This doubles that number. And it might be useful, it might not be. In huge groups, it does help, because I also have tied in Mycon's Ball of Hate, which electrocute chain enemies that have already been hit. Now that's great on its own, but that means that the rune, this can hit 5 guys twice. So with the Velvet Camarel, it'll hit 10 people twice. So those two go hand in hand pretty well, but when you have smaller numbers of mobs, this doesn't work as well, so it's just kind of give-take. Really, all my other gear, besides RASHA's set, I do have the 3-piece. I have the chest, neck, and what do I got? I can't even remember. Oh, belt. So that's a pretty good set. That way it opens up your helmet, and anything else that you might be able to slap some other things around. That's not too bad, especially the belt. It's hard to find sets of belts a lot of times. But I do have that 3-piece. That gives me the meteors that drop from the sky. You'll see that when I play. And then I do have Thunder Fury, but I also have... well, I have a couple other ones, but overall I like Thunder Fury because, A, it also hits single targets. So if I use... let's just take a little look-see here. No. Fulminator. Okay, Fulminator is a great one. As you can see, it will turn enemies into lightning rods. So that's great AoE, especially when you got several guys all AoE in at once. I'll be like 1,000 damage a second if 5 guys are doing that to everybody around them. So I do like Fulminator, but Thunder Fury does kind of edge out for me, in my opinion, because it does a little more damage when it does hit, and also it reduces movement speed and attack speed by 30%. And then it also hurts single targets that Fulminator does not. It does not hurt them when they turn into a lightning rod. So I do use this, but the other one's good, and I think I have another one, but we'll get into that in another video. So anyway, all I have for my boots is Vira's Swagger Stance. I just found these. I just decided to equip them. Good stats since they're ancients. I do have a 2-piece of fire, or 3-piece. So I got the gloves, shoulders, and pants. Firebird's down, but with my Ring of Royal Grandeur, that reduces the 3-piece, or the 4-piece bonus down to 3 pieces. And so when I die, a meteor falls from the sky, revives me. That's kind of nice, you know. But really, it's for the intellect, and you know, I got some pretty decent stats off of it. And otherwise, my arm guards. If I destroy something, I run a little faster. That's okay. Also, a big one for Torment that I highly recommend is getting 2 Unities, and hopefully they got good stats. The stats on this aren't that great, but one thing I do like is the damage against elites and also the reduction in control and parrying effects. I think that's pretty standard for these rings, but I have one, and then my Enchantress has one, and then also I have this Smoking Thurible. Equip on follower, your follower cannot die. So that effectively reduces all my damage by half, and already my toughness is at 14 million. So with that, and along with my very high toughness, it's pretty damn hard to kill me. As you can see, my damage could go a lot higher, but that's the give-take of Torment 6. My recovery is pretty damn high too. That is from, I try to get my hit up as much as possible. Per kill really isn't useful on tier 6, or Torment 6, because you're not killing stuff very readily to get that health back. So really, life on hit, life per second. That's just the way I think. Unless you got huge damage and you know you're able to stomp shit. But then you're taking away a lot. So as you can see, I got full high level gems, except for the head. That extra 1-2% isn't worth the millions for me right now. I mean, I got the money, but screw it. I got other tunes to work on. So as far as my stats go, my attack speed increase is 30%. That's pretty damn high, especially when you're using Electrocute. The faster you could get that, along with Thunder Fury, you get a lot of procs, and it essentially webs all the enemies together in electricity, and it just drains their health. You'll see that. Critical hit chance very high, 52%. I'm surprised it got that high. I could probably reforge a couple things, get a little higher, but that's good for me for right now. Critical hit damage, pretty decent, 432. I could get that higher, but some of my pieces I had to reforge to get a few different things. Air damage is decent. I got a 20% off of Mycon's Ball of Hate, along with 50 off of my Paragon level. And then, see, as you can see here, I only have a 5% increase for just from this. There's no other damage increasing, or elemental damage increasing, because I like to be able to change things out without having to worry about, or change skills without having to worry about that. My defense, it doesn't seem too amazing, but it is pretty decent for a wizard. Nothing really special. My life is at 544%, or 544,000, and then that's about it. Not much else going on. So let's go out and kill a couple things. I do like using the Weeping Hollow just because for the videos, because it does have large groups of enemies that you could use this on. As you can see right off the bat, I started dropping meteors, and that's very useful. It's a good damage spike. Not a very good single target build though, but that's why the Hydras are in there, for slowing and also the extra boost to damage. Where this build really shines though is on groups. As you can see, it'll just keep chaining everything together, and then you'll see Thunder Fury proccing also, which will be slowing everybody. And then of course my Hydra is doing what it can to keep up with damage. So all I got to do is just hit them, and everything was stunned there, and then yeah, you just keep channeling until everything dies. Oh, I forgot to even buff up. Here, I'll also use that. So then when I use my black hole, it greatly increased. That's a 30% increase right there, just from that small group of enemies in damage, and it reduces their damage. So there, now things are dying a little faster that I use my buffs. So as you can see, it changed to everything, and then you got meteors, everybody's getting stunned, and of course I do forget to put that up in my videos. I do forget quite a few things when I do videos, but you guys understand. It's hard to play and keep it exciting along with talking, try to remember everything about what's going on with this. But as you can see, it is a great build. You will lose something. This is mainly a solo tier 6 because of that unity. Unless other people have unity, then that will fall off without when you lose your companion. My enchantress, I'll no longer have that half damage. So it will work. You just got to be moving around a lot more. As you can see, I'm not taking very much damage. Of course, I'm not getting hit very hard, and I haven't found. Oh, here we go. All right, so I'll suck them all up, hit them with that, and shock the piss out of them. So yeah, see, so they're hitting me, and they're not hitting me very hard. Usually, you know, when I first started Torment 6, man, I would just get my ass handed to me. Like it was nothing, just one shot. I don't even know what killed me. So, as you can tell, my defense is insanely high, especially for a wizard. And it wasn't too bad to get, really. Unity's a big one, but along with a lot of damage reduction skills. And, I don't know, it's just for some reason it kind of came together to where my damage is high enough I decided to give it a try and then kind of tune my my build for it. Also, if you notice, I don't have any legendary gems, and the problem with legendary gems is that I do like them, but it's just to make that extra socket in your rings, and then using rings that you want, it's kind of a pain in the ass. You know, you do got to dedicate yourself to one character. So simplicity's sake, I do not try to use legendary gems or enhancements, and so that way I'm way more flexible. I can try out a lot more stuff and see how well it works, and then also just have higher crit chance, higher crit damage because of those skills not having to get reforged into a socket. I know I can get damage a lot higher because of this, and of course, you know, you could, you know, take this build and do it too. I'm just showing what can be done with just the base skills without that extra stuff that they got. And I am at 367 God, what the hell is it? Paragon. I forget this shit all the time. So that really definitely helps. This was actually from my seasonal characters being up, I believe, at like 200 and something, and then that tied in after the season ended. So oh, that was just a great wipe right there. I might have to use that for the thumbnail if I can. But as I said in previous videos, chain lightning is one of my favorite skills in the entire game. Just how it works. I loved it in Diablo 2, and it just how that looks is just the shit. And especially on groups, it does so much damage so quickly and readily. And see, it's not too bad on single target, but well, that's about it, really. I am going to be coming out with a Witch Doctor Torment 6 here soon after this, and it'll be a pet build, so make sure to check out that one if you can. And well, that's about it, really. So and even though this is the first act, this works across all acts. The enemies, of course, some enemies hit harder, stun, all that. These are just the easy ones. This works good for video. But this does work for other acts. I was able to get legendary gems up to 25 using this build in rifts, so it does work well with rifts too, and rift bosses. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and make sure to like and or subscribe if you enjoyed this or any of my other videos I have up on my channel. If you haven't been to my channel, make sure to check it out, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, guys. Oh, and leave your comments below. I'll respond as quickly as possible. especially since I only got about at this time of filming, I only got about 100. So it's pretty easy. If you have any questions or anything, make sure to ask, and I'll try to respond within a day or two. So anyway, have a good one.